Salvete Spectatores, it's Masopust. Welcome back to Tyranny. We are going in to the tent with the two big archons. Let's do that. And there's the loading screen. Now, some people complain about very long loading times. Mine are not that bad. Yesterday you chided me for wishing to wait. Now you suggest an even longer delay. So they're arguing. You can read that. We can wait and just let them talk. So this is the Archon of War, Graven Ashe. Interesting, there are combat stats displayed, so they are attackable. And this is the Voices of Nerat, the Archon of Secrets, I guess. Okay. So they're arguing about leadership and what to do, and I presume I and Marshal Arrhenius, Fifth Eye, are second in command of these respectively. So let's move in.
That's 4 reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley.
The Archon of War pounds his staff on the ground to punctuate his words. A large and imposing man to begin with. His profile is made larger still by his hulking suit of armor that hums with mystic energy.
Or it's the work of your perfidious Earthshakers. Only a fool would not suspect a traitorous Archon of poisoning the mind of his students with sedition. We would have killed the Earthshakers Guild for their master's treachery, but I'm sure you have some perfectly valid reason for allowing them to live as your pawns.
The Archon of Secrets passes a scepter between his hands as he speaks, twirling the rod in hypnotic circles. Emerald luminescence seeps from the seams of the Archon's ragged red robes. I'm not sure if he has armor beneath it. The glow is most noticeable where the neck ought to be. His mask seems to float and spin, never pivoting or bending naturally. You hear the voices in your head. Well, hello there, Fatebinder. We'll be with you in just a moment.
Hey, watch yourself. When these two get going, you don't want to get between them.
Burris whispers fearfully as she beholds the Archons. Okay, so let's remain silent.
I always know you've run out of things to say when you resort to mocking my vassals. If we are to speak of treachery, why is it that my scouts see the Scarlet Chorus warriors defecting back to the Vendrian Guard? Your fearsome reputation has gone flaccid, for it seems you cannot control your soldiers, or perhaps you simply choose not to.
My lords, the Fatebinder has arrived. The disfavored commander raises her voice, trying with little success to speak over the Archons. Perhaps we could table this discussion and let our guests speak.
Speaking of strategic failures, who was it that insisted the valley would need only a token garrison? For some strange reason, we can't seem to recall which balding halfwit grossly underestimated the enemy. Thoughts?
Okay, he again twirls his scepter. You hear the voices in your head. Can you hear us, Fatebinder? Cough if we have your attention. We? Why is he talking in plural about himself? Full of himself guy, let's cough audibly.
And I thought you had left agents within these Tearsmen when they surrendered. Either you failed to see this coming, or you knew and let it happen. Incompetent or in cahoots, either way, this mess has your filthy stink all over it.
The Archon of All lurches forward, resting his weight on his war mole. His blue luminescence crackles around his armor. So, this guy, Arrhenius, just tried to talk, but they didn't listen at all.
We look forward to seeing you explain to Tunon why the Archon of War could not close the vice on this trivial little insurgency. When we are crowned the ruler of the Tears, we shall have this place renamed to Ashe's Folly in your honor.
Yeah, he's talking about himself in plural all the times. Good, good. Now pay attention. You might miss something.
If I could trust the information I get from you and your conscripted mouth breathers, perhaps I'd order my cohorts around a bit more aggressively. But last time I trusted your all-clear report, my troops failed to come home.
Oh, Ash, old boy. If you're going to have a little sob every time one of your nieces or nephews dies to the tearsman, perhaps we should have Siren sing you some calming lullabies to help you cope with your grief.
Siren is the archon of song and the youngest archon. Yeah, she's only 15. These guys are much older. Young and inexperienced, Siren is drawn to the voices of Nerad, who uses her powers of charm and manipulation to swell the ranks of the Scarlet Chorus with volunteers. There is an excellent short story out there in the archives of the developer diaries of Obsidian, where the origins of Siren are explained, so I really recommend you reading that. Humming gleefully. Take care that you don't learn too much, Faintbinder. An excess of knowledge, or curiosity even, can earn unwanted attention. Hold your tongue! I will not have you denigrate the honor of our fallen brethren. The commander's hands move to the hilt of her blade, though the weapon stays sheathed. I'd be doing us all a favor if I cracked open that excuse for a head. They bicker like children, do they not? The fifth ice-grading tenor pierces the tension in the tent, and no lies land on the crimson spear. I, meant only to say welcome. Welcome to our guest, the Fatebinder. The armored retainer bows with rushed intelligence, then rises to a salute. And not a moment too soon. Okay. Governor Masopust, long have we been honored by your iron. Now we are all honored by your presence. I must apologize for my lords. Tempers run high of late. So... Ooh, that's right. I tried to change the setting, and I will switch that back again. Because I don't want to see that we need it. Diplomat requirement not met. So if we had selected diplomat at the beginning, we could say something here. So let's glare silently.
Ah, the fire starter has arrived. Welcome, welcome. Our agents tell us such lovely stories of what you did at the Vellum Citadel. Have you come bearing another fragment of Kairos' wrath in tow?
So we gained loyalty with Verse, I think because we did not say anything. And with him as well, because we had our little chat with him via his scepter, I guess. The fire starter has arrived. Ah yeah, because we killed the mages, the sages of the school of Ink and Quill of the Citadel. That's right. Okay. I guess they say something different if we choose to go to a different location.
We were worried you'd never make it. So glad that Drostus' demise didn't cause further delay.
The Archon of Secrets turns his attention to you. The frozen rictus fashioned into his bronze mask greets you with a permanent smile. So he apparently knows that Drostus did die. It's an honor to be there.
Likewise.
What? You have lost favor with the voices? Okay, so apparently he doesn't like when we are polite. What the hell?
It would seem the honor is all yours.
The voices slaps his scepter against his hand, chuckling softly to himself. I come bearing an edict of Kairos.
Once again, you bring us support in a time of need. We fondly remember your service to the chorus in the taking of the bastard city. We knew back then you were destined for great things. But we had not anticipated you would be twice honored with the task of proclamation. So, do not keep us waiting. What is the Overlord's will?
Ah, right, yeah, we helped the chorus inflict a riot in the bastard city, so that's because he says what he says. And I think gaining favor with Scarlet Chorus here is because we did the things in the past. They're just catching up, right? Okay. So there is apparently a different wording to it. The Overlord's loyal servant must hold Ascension Hall by Kyrus' Day of the Swords, or all in the valley shall perish? It seems you need some encouragement to work together. Blah, blah, blah. In honor of your incompetence and disarray, the edict will execute every living thing. Okay. Let's be honest, but not too rude. It seems you need some encouragement to work together. Kyrus' edict will end the lives of everyone in this valley unless Ascension Hall is claimed by Kyrus' Day of the Swords. So Ascension Hall is the throne rooms of the Queen of Apex. Okay. And Day of the Swords is the 26th in this month. You gain Wrath with the Voices and favor... Why the hell did I gain Wrath with the Voices? I don't know. The earth sways with each word you utter, the air thickening with warmth as you pronounce the tersely phrased commandment. It's every syllable drafted by the hand of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles in your legs, worn from a long trip down the mountains, feel renewed. The child limbs now nearly beyond with vigor. Very nice. So yeah, I guess
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Mittani. We lose everything if we stand still. And we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time. So we do this the hard way. Over the walls, instead of through.
the Archon of War taps a finger against his temple. A low rumble escapes from under his beard.
So, you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? A baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
The Archon of Secrets passes the scepter, chuckling softly with each toss. Watch him squirm. So many tears over replaceable, expendable, useless soldiers. I miss the old Archon of War. You'd never see blood echo in a blubbering mess over a few dead killers. He'd used the knuckle bones of his best disciples for jewelry, and even made a breastplate out of his dead brother's ribcage, because that's how a real man deals with grief. So yeah, I don't like seeing the subterfuge option. I, like the description in the beginning said, it should be my own resources that come to this conclusion. But for now, let's pick it. After this episode, I will change it back to not showing anything. They call you the Archon of Secrets, but you certainly don't seem to know anything remotely useful.
I second the Fatebinder. Thought you had the memories of one of those Oathbreakers rattling about that bronze gourd of yours. Would Kairos' mighty spy master please enlighten this gathering of allies with some scrap of strategic insight?
So it maybe was not the best idea to do that. The Archon of Secrets turns his head toward the side, until the face of his mask has turned around and a new face set of the mask presents itself as facing forward. When next the Archon speaks, the trembling voice of a younger man can be heard.
Our river was to be the bulwark, but with the tidecasters slain, what hope remains? It's so cold in here. Help me, please.
What the hell? So it's apparently a different guy speaking. The use of the term Our River suggests this is the voice of the late Matani Janeth, ranking member of the Vendring Guard. The wealthy house Matani owned much of the realm of Apex. Okay, so apparently he is able to trap extracted information or even characters' whole memories inside his helmet. It's so cold in here, I think this may even refer to him being trapped in a mask. The Archon turns his head far to the side until the previous facet of the mask looks for the new.
Our sources tell us the Oathbreakers had some sort of magical trick in store. But this knowledge is tinged with fear, trepidation. If we make a move for the Mitanni, we suspect the Oathbreakers will mount a counterattack that is equal parts valiant and futile.
The voice, who was it?
That was Mitanni Yarnell, former noble of Apex and one of the leaders of the Vendrian Guard. Back when they were half-respectable enemies that knew how to lose with dignity. When the Guard first surrendered, Yarnev presented himself to us. What he knew, we now know.
Interesting. So... let's just say, then enough talking, there's work to be done. So Arrhenius says, "My lord, Barik and his band have been drilled on the Echo Code assault plan. The Crescent Runners should be briefing him as we speak, regarding the latest enemy movements along the river. I will dispatch him at once." The Air Marshal salutes, clapping her gauntlet to her breastplate. So first mention of Barik. Though you know him only by name, Barik is a commander of the Stone Shields, and well regarded by his favorite high command. "And I will ensure the chorus stands ready to march. If the disfavored can take the river, the chorus has the manpower to secure the outer ring of the valley."
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunan's Chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
I won't let you down, boss. She'll get through the campaign in one piece, as long as she doesn't do anything too stupid.
The Archon twirls his scepter one last time, then taps the fifth eye on the shoulder and the two depart. You hear the voices in your head. "Suit yourself, Fatebinder, the more you ignore us." Huh. I wonder what I did wrong. This doesn't sound nice. I wonder what I could have said differently. I guess he's a little bit pissed. Okay, so these two guys vanish.
Finally, the fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the Voices of Narot is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end.
What does he mean by "perhaps now I can hear myself think"? What? This is an interesting phrasing.
Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us. You've shown your worth in war, and your name has been known to the Legion since the very beginning of this long conquest. So I'd ask that you join us this one last time, to help us wrap up this last objective. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
I'm short a few scouts, short a few soldiers, short a few everything. I'm sure my brethren would be grateful for assistance of a skilled outsider. How will the chorus be helping?
I ask myself that question often. While we take the river crossing, the Scarlet Chorus should be using their sizable presence to remove the Oathbreaker patrols lurking in the outer valley.
The Oathbreakers have maintained a sizable force outside the Citadel. We need the chorus manpower to scur the region. Otherwise, the Oathbreakers will attack at our heels once we cross the Mitanni. Yeah, let's offer help. The Iron Marshal salutes Graven Ashe, then turns to leave the tent. I will be at the training grounds, readying the soldiers. Find me there when you're ready. She pauses, clearing her throat. And though I am loath to mention it, the chorus can likely use your assistance. They certainly won't secure the outer valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in that rat's nest they call a camp, due east. Seek him out if you must. Why is this character so big? I mean, he's an archon, he's basically a demigod, and is very large. But the other guy just seems to be human. This battle report from Ecrical Crossing blames the failure of the assault on the village on the Scarlet Chorus. Apparently their scouts failed to report critical intelligence about the enemy composition. Let's crack this open.
That wasn't so hard.
His favorite iron sword, Agate. Why not? Sweet. There's something else. Here we go. That's a healing potion. Sweet. Let's get out of here. And now we have to talk to Barik, I guess. And I know from... I said it before, from Dev Diaries, that Barik is our third character, so we can recruit him. Okay, we took this one before. So, let's talk to Barik right away. Or to Arrhenius, more like. Don't just counter the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal Arrhenius, field commander of the disfavored, pounds her fist at the air. She calls out to the warriors on the training field. I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwear, you've lost. The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden circlet as she clears her throat. Judging from her uniform, this is the Iron Marshal Arrhenius. Yeah, I have seen her before. First among equals in the Iron Guard, Graven Ashe's inner circle of trusted followers. Charged with being the duties of leadership, logistics and training, there's rarely a quiet day for the second in command. Why is she so big? These two guys have the same size as me. Barik here is bigger, but that may be because of his armor, but why is she so large? It's insane. Need to stay on the top of the troops, or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. How are the warriors reacting to the edict? Kaiser's ultimatum has the camp on edge. Some with dread, but most are rife with anticipation. She points to the men sparring in the field. Men? This looks like a woman. We have a lot of brothers and sisters to avenge, and the warriors are eager to take out some aggression. I for one choose to see the edict as a blessing, for it forces the generals to act, and we are long overdue. It was mentioned you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have brigades amassing along Placid, Echo and Littertooth crossings. The Avenging Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerned three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but... Her words falter, a short cough breaking her flow. But we all die to Curse's edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. So let's not pinch her wounds. Let's just say we will assist. Oh wait, let's ask about the first time and so forth. The feat in detail. We carved a bloody path up to the river, but at that point, everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no chorus backup. It was just a few disfavored squads. I can't tell you exactly how they were defeated, but we lost the whole assault team. She shakes her head, letting out a long, pained sigh. We found bodies washing up the river for days. It's not often the Tearsmen put up such a good fight. It certainly made us reevaluate the number we need to take this valley. Really? Are you sure our scouts didn't give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you just choose to disregard our warnings? We can pass our blame after the war. Quite right. Getting our emotions into the mix won't hasten this campaign. What's the value of taking the crossing? We can't just march from here to the citadel with the Avenging Guard manning the riverbanks. Flooding troops and supplies through even the narrowest points of the river makes us vulnerable to attack, especially since our armor wasn't built for swimming. She points north, toward the mountain spire looming on the horizon. If we can't take the river, we have a clear march to the citadel, and the Ascension Hall will be ours in no time. I will assist. Then our plan might just work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlet close to your face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. But we're loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values. But we know the tune on the adjudicator, selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust he will honor us all on the field. Holy crap, she has a lofty attitude. Anzio will be leading the charge at Echocore Crossing. Assisting her will be Barik of the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the forge-bound weren't sloshed on Dapple's seed, whatever that is, when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and his armor doesn't exactly come off. Technically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, Tyranny signals to the hulking presence. Barik, come meet the Fatebinder. The soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor, fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
An honor.
Likewise, good Binder.
The soldier heaves a heavy iron arm into salute, his whole body clanging as he wraps his gauntlet against the twisted sheets of metal that forms his breastplate.
Barik, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
I don't believe we've been acquainted.
It's challenging enough to experience battle from a courtroom, much less remember the faces of your cohorts. I wouldn't expect you to know me under these accursed blades of rust.
He bangs on his malformed chest armor for emphasis. The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help. And more importantly, if my words come true and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we'll have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
He nods to you, his armor creaking as he bends his neck. I asked Barik to accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Okay, Echocore Crossing is now unlocked. Barik, you've been without a cohort since the last Battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worth it in hauling weapons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped official terms. Ashe has assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. Did you assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you? Is that understood? I suppose I could be in worse company than that of a Rono Mage Slayer. I have seen how this one treats any upstarts who fail to recognize the benefits of Kairos peace, though I would much rather attend to my duties here. That is, unless you're serious about my change of assignment, Iron Marshal. Okay, yeah, because we slayed the fire mages. Apparently he was there as well. That's an order, Barik. She shakes her head and sighs, returning to her focus on you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I'm honored to have a member of the Iron Legion at my side. So, that's easy favor and loyalty with Barik and his favorite. Excellent! I look forward to your success in the field. So, we gained Barik. We will look at his stats in the next episode. For now, I thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon.